Imagine a plot so audacious, so meticulously crafted, it could only come from the mind of a master storyteller. Yet, it wasn't fiction. It was a real-life financial heist, conceived by a cunning criminal that almost brought a nation's central bank to its knees. And what if I told you somehow the creator of Sherlock Holmes himself, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, was entangled in this incredible web of deception? This is the unbelievable true story of the Bank of Portugal banknote fraud, a saga filled with intrigue, cunning, and an astonishing twist involving one of history's most celebrated authors. If you're ready for a real-life mystery that puts fiction to shame, then subscribe now to your channel name here for more incredible, true financial tales. In the early 1920s, after the tumultuous years of World War I, Portugal's economy was in a fragile state. The nation was grappling with economic instability, and its central bank, the Banco de Portugal, was struggling to maintain public confidence in its currency, the escudo. It was against this backdrop of vulnerability that one of the most audacious financial crimes in history was conceived. Artur Virgílio Alves Reis, a cunning and ambitious Portuguese conman with a penchant for grand schemes, saw not a problem, but an unparalleled opportunity. Reis wasn't a master forger in the traditional sense. His genius lay in exploiting systemic loopholes and leveraging audacity, not intricate artistic skill. Reis's plan was shockingly simple in its brilliance, yet incredibly complex in its execution. He discovered that the Banco de Portugal had previously commissioned a British banknote printing company, Waterlow and Sons, to print new 500 escudo notes. Crucially, he learned that a certain series of these notes had been authorized but not yet fully printed, or perhaps even fully accounted for. Reis's ingenious idea was not to counterfeit the notes, but to print authentic, legitimate banknotes without the knowledge or authorization of the Banco de Portugal. He forged a series of contracts and official documents, meticulously creating a seemingly legitimate authorization for Waterlow to print additional millions of 500 escudo notes. These forged documents, incredibly convincing in their detail, bore fake signatures of high-ranking Portuguese officials, and even a fabricated decree from the Portuguese government. Armed with these incredibly persuasive, though entirely fraudulent, documents, Alves Reis approached Waterlow and Sons in London. He convinced the unsuspecting British printers that he was a legitimate representative of the Banco de Portugal, authorized to order a secret additional print run of 500 escudo notes. The premise was that these notes were urgently needed for covert operations to support the Angolan economy, a Portuguese colony, and thus required utmost discretion. Waterlow, a reputable firm, meticulously followed its protocols, confirming the authorization via official-looking channels, which Reis had also cleverly compromised. Believing they were acting on legitimate orders, Waterlow printed 200,000 new 500 escudo notes, totaling 100 million escudos, an enormous sum equivalent to roughly 0.88% of Portugal's entire GDP at the time. With suitcases filled with freshly printed, perfectly authentic banknotes, Alves Reis returned to Portugal. He immediately began injecting this vast sum of new money into the Portuguese economy. His primary goal was to gain control of the Banco de Angola, a bank vital to Portugal's colonial interests, and through it extend his influence and legitimacy. He used the newly printed notes to buy shares, acquire businesses, and bribe officials, creating a whirlwind of economic activity. The sudden influx of money, seemingly out of nowhere, began to have a noticeable, unsettling effect on the Portuguese economy. Inflation started to tick up, and the value of the escudo began to fluctuate wildly, puzzling economists and central bank officials. The intricate web of deceit began to unravel not through a sophisticated forensic investigation, but through a stroke of simple bad luck and growing suspicion. In 1925, a Lisbon bank teller became suspicious of two 500 escudo notes with identical serial numbers. This anomaly, though seemingly minor, was a critical red flag. The Banco de Portugal launched an immediate top-secret investigation. What they discovered was horrifying. Not just a few counterfeit notes, but a massive unauthorized print run of perfectly genuine currency circulating freely within their own economy. The revelation sent shockwaves through the central bank and the Portuguese government. The hunt for the culprits was swift and relentless. The evidence led back to Alves Reis and his associates. In a stunning turn of events, it was revealed that among the legitimate serial numbers provided to Waterlow for printing, Reis had included a block of serial numbers already in circulation, but that had not yet been printed by Waterlow. This oversight, combined with the sheer volume of notes injected, finally exposed the grand illusion. Alves Reis and his co-conspirators were arrested, and the full scope of their audacious scheme came to light, detailing how they had managed to trick one of the world's most respected banknote printers. The Portuguese banknote crisis had devastating consequences. The value of the escudo plummeted, public confidence in the Banco de Portugal evaporated, and the Portuguese economy plunged into chaos. The scandal led to major political instability, ultimately contributing to the military coup of 1926, which ushered in a long period of authoritarian rule. Waterlow and Sons faced massive lawsuits and reputational damage, though they maintained they were victims of a sophisticated fraud. And the twist. During the initial investigation, one of Waterlow's legal advisors reached out to none other than Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the master of detective fiction, to understand the criminal mind involved. While Doyle wasn't directly involved in the fraud itself, his name became forever linked to this real-life mystery, consulted by those trying to unravel a plot worthy of his own Sherlock Holmes. The Great Forgery stands as a chilling testament to the ingenuity of criminals and the vulnerabilities inherent even in seemingly robust financial systems. It taught invaluable lessons about due diligence, the dangers of unchecked trust, and how a single audacious scheme can destabilize an entire nation. It remains one of the most remarkable and bizarre financial crimes in history, a story where reality truly outshines fiction. What did you think of this incredible tale of deception and its surprising literary connection? Leave your comments below. If you found this story as intriguing as a Sherlock Holmes mystery, give this video a huge like and share it with anyone who loves a good true crime or financial history deep dive. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more mind-blowing stories from the world of finance and beyond.